Let us look at the issue of purification, which is the fundamental of Salah. There is no Salah without wudu. There is no Salah without purification. As I mentioned to you earlier, if you are in a state where you are majboor, where you are helpless, and there is no option for tahara, then it's a different matter. But wherever we have the option of tahara, then to be in a state of tahara is something which is not just highly desirable, it is something which is greatly recommended. Including one of the things which I have been taught and which I also teach and recommend to you is, try to be in a state of wudu 24/7. And the simplest thing to do is, anytime your wudu breaks, anytime you go to the bathroom, make wudu. And stay in that state of wudu. Then you have to go and, again to the toilet. You go to the toilet and make wudu again, come back. So you are always in a state of wudu. Including before you go to bed, make wudu. Before you go to sleep, make wudu. And then do the adhkar of the night and read Surah Al-Mulk and Surah Al-Sajda. And then you go to sleep. Rasulullah said, a person in that state, every time the person moves in his sleep, the malaika make dua for the forgiveness of that person. So you are sleeping, you slept in the state of wudu. Every time you turn, the malaika make dua. Second thing is, Rasulullah said, if you make wudu and go to sleep, then you wake up in the night, for whatever reason, you maybe need to go to the toilet or something, or your sleep is disturbed, you wake up in the night, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the dua the person makes at that time, Allah accepts his dua. So sleep in a state of wudu, and when you wake up in the night, make dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept this dua. What is the dua you should make? Oh Allah, forgive our uncle. Hasra pure. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Telling you seriously, huh? Please. So make this dua. And you can make other duas afterwards, but Abdurrahim bhai always is a deal. Inshallah, Zarur. Let us make dua for each other. Inshallah, may Allah accept the dua for each other. Incidentally, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when you make dua for a brother or sister, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints an angel to make the same dua for you. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the dua of the angel is more accepted more than your own dua. And that's one of the reasons you might have seen, every time I make dua, I say, may Allah give you this, give you this. I never include myself. And that many of you probably think that, oh, mashallah, so altruistic, he only prays for us. I'm praying only for myself. Thank you. So may Allah give you this, give you this, and the angels will say, no, give the same thing to this guy. So the fundamental of tahara, which is this ayat of Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, you who believe, when you intend to offer salah, wash your faces and your hands, forearms up to the elbows, and rub by passing wet hands over your head, which is the masa, and wash your feet up to the ankles. These three things form what is called the fard, or the faraid of wudu. We'll come to all of this in detail, inshallah, between today and tomorrow. And then and then this ayat says, if you are in a state of janaba, which is after sexual intercourse or after the emanation of sexual fluid, in the case of the male, purify yourself, which is bathe your whole body, which is make ghusl. But if you are ill or on a journey, or if any of you comes after answering the call of nature, or you have been in contact with women, which is sexual intercourse, and you find no water, then perform tayammum with clean earth and rub therewith your faces and hands. The way of performing tayammum is to put your hand on the something which has dust and this way, and pass over your face once, and then do again and pass over your right arm and your left arm. This is tayammum. Allah does not want to place you in difficulty, but wants to purify you and to complete His favor on you, that you may be thankful. Now this is the level to which ease has been introduced into the religion, such that we never have to miss salah, irrespective of what the situation might be. Obviously, we need to do the best we can, but where there is a problem, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us a way in which we can still purify ourselves, and we make the salah. Now, In the case of ghusl, so we'll come to ghusl, then we'll look at wudu inshallah. One of the important things I want to say to you, and this is the quote of Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, she said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Ansari women who asked questions without being shy so that we could learn our religion. If you read the hadith, the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them and give them the highest stations in Jannah, they asked questions in such detail that today in our, our hypocritical modesty, because where we should be modest, we are not modest. Where we should not be modest, we act as if the sky will fall down if you ask a question that relates to your personal purity and so on and so forth. We feel, oh no, how can I ask this question? If you don't ask the question, how do you know the answer? From where is it going to come? People used to ask questions, and it's not my topic here, but sometime when there is an opportunity, I will tell you that there are people who came, women who came and asked questions of such intricacy, you will be amazed. And they asked them in public with other people present before Rabbi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Rasulullah praised the question. He said, very good question, excellent, did you hear this? And then he gave the answer. Now, ghusl becomes necessary in 5 cases. Number 1 is the release of sperm with pleasure. So if sperm comes out without accidentally or something, then ghusl is not, doesn't become obligatory, but it's still better to make ghusl in any case. And then in that case you can make wudu, but it's better to make ghusl in any case. Number 2 is that when sperm is released, that area where the sperm is there should be first washed. So even in the ghusl, first clean that and then you do the rest of the ghusl. Number 2 is when there is a wet dream with seminal discharge. Third is whenever the tip of the man's private part enters the woman's private part, intentionally or otherwise, whether it happens accidentally in foreplay and so on, or whether it happens as a part of serious sexual intercourse, it need not be, it's not necessary for an entire intercourse to happen and for all, even the tip entering the private part obligates a ghusl to be done after that. And the 4th one is the monthly periods of women, and the 5th one is nifas, which is the release of blood after a woman gives birth. These are the 5 cases in which ghusl, which is the ritual bath, becomes obligatory. Now please understand there are 2 kinds of purity. There is physical purity and there is ritual purity. So there is in Urdu what we call paki and taharat. So or safai and paki. Now physical purity refers to cleaning whatever impurity is there on the body. So whether it is sexual impurity or any other kind of impurity, whatever makes ghusl or wudu liable, that must first be cleaned. So with that remaining on the body, you can't do the ghusl and the wudu, it won't work. So that has to be washed off and made sure that it's clean. And after that, we come to the ritual part of the purity, which is the ghusl itself, and that must be done in the order which inshallah I will explain to you now. How many people know the fard of ghusl? Let me not ask you to show hands, because generally that becomes embarrassing. The reality today is that I am going to teach you the faraid of ghusl, and I want you to set your stopwatches and see how long it takes you. And then ask yourself, how come you didn't spend that 20 seconds till your life, till now, if you don't know the fard of ghusl, to learn this thing? Because it means that till now, and may Allah protect you and make tawbah, and inshallah Allah will forgive your faults and accept all your ibadat. It means that you have been living in a state of impurity till this moment, until you learn the fard of ghusl. Now how sad is that? And we have situations, we have people who are mothers and fathers of many children who do not know the fard of ghusl, which means that you are living in a constant state of impurity, and technically speaking, no ibadah of yours is accepted, and you are not bothered. You don't even care. And how much time did you need to change that situation? 10 seconds. You didn't have 10 seconds for yourself. So please let us correct ourselves. This is high time we wake up and behave like responsible adults and stop living in this kind of a robotic life. So very quickly now, as I said, set your stopwatches and see how long it takes to learn. 3 fard of ghusl. Number 1, wash the mouth and gargle, so the water goes inside. If you are fasting, then you don't have to take the water inside, but just do gargle. And if there's anything stuck in the teeth and so on and so forth, just remove it. Make sure you gargle, do that. Number 2, wash the inside of the nose. So take the water and push it inside the nose. Try to get it as inside as possible. I mean, the water doesn't have to go into your brain, but take it inside so that the water completely, all the nasal passages are clean. And the third one is to wash the body from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet one time, ensuring that the entire body becomes wet and water touches the whole body to the base of the hair, to the base of the hair of the beard, and so on and so forth. How long did this take? That's it. That's it. Only water. For the ghusl. By all means, use all the soaps and shampoos in the world you like, no problem. For the ghusl. Islam makes it easy for you. Right? If somebody says, use only Lux soap and then you must use only Dove, whatever, or... that's why Islam makes it easy for you. Just water. We're talking about the ritual purity. Now, in addition to this, of course, you can do, you can use all the soap and water and conditioner and whatever else. But the point is just this. The reason I'm saying it is, how long did it take you to learn this? Not even 10 seconds. How complicated is it? How difficult is it to remember? Gargling, water in the nose, full body wet. Khalas. You are clean. Alhamdulillah. Aate sahab, thero na. We are talking about the fard of ghusl. Right? Now, is it clear, everybody? Please understand this, and my submission to you is, make it your aim in life to ensure that every single friend of yours understands and knows the fard of ghusl. Karenge bhai, will you do this? Do it as gently and nicely as possible. Make sure. We have people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s who have never done a ghusl in their lives. You don't want to die in that state, believe me. Seriously. To go home and teach people this thing. It takes you 10 seconds. That's it. Period. 3 things. How long does it take to learn that? Right? So please understand this. Now the sunnah of ghusl. Wash both the hands and private parts even if they are clean, and if there is any najasat, anything impure on the body, wash it off. Number 2 is perform a complete wudu. Right? Number 3 is make niyat of ghusl. Now all niyat, whether it is niyat for ghusl or wudu or salah and so on, does not have to be spoken. Now this is one of the things that, especially in our country, this is something which we have been taught to do it, and many times the children are taught to say the niyyah, and you say, okay, repeat. What niyat are you making? That's the teacher is teaching him, and he's asking him to repeat it so that he knows he's doing it correctly. But this guy now carries it with him, and his whole salah, I am making niyat to make 4 rakat of salah. I am making niyat to make salah. So when does he actually make the salah? Because this is the niyat for the salah. मैं niyat करता हूँ, तो niyat की niyat करता है. And then you say, I am making salah 4 rakat on this janimaz which is red colored with white spots and facing the qibla, and behind this imam who I don't like so much, but anyway I still have to pray behind him, not my fault, so on and so on and so on. I'm making this long niyat. Right? There is no need for any of that. Niyat is in the heart. So we make the niyat for ghusl, wudu, salah, whatever, niyat is in the heart, but consciously. You don't just come and dump water on your head and say, oh, I think I made ghusl. Or what else was I doing? God knows. You don't know, I don't know. So no. So make the niyat as far as the ghusl is concerned, but it doesn't have to be spoken. 4th is pour water over the entire body 3 times. First the head, then on the right side, then on the left side, making that every part gets totally wet. The water must reach the roots of the hair, and the whole body must be wet. If any part of the body remains dry with water not touching, then the ghusl is not complete. Number 5 is, now in the ghusl, if you touch your private parts, Then as far as among the Hanafis, the ghusl is still valid and the ghusl does not break, and so you just finish your ghusl and you are done. But with Imam Shafi'i and others, it is the ghusl it is necessary to make ghusl to make wudu at the end if your hands have touched your private parts, which obviously they will. So it is if you ask me, I will say the safer bet is you make wudu first and then you make the niyyah, do your whole ghusl and then make wudu at the end and come out of there and ensure that your hands don't touch your private parts. And if that happens, then make a wudu again. So you are safe. But among the Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi, he's is very kind on this matter. So he said, okay, if that is the case, even if your hands touch your private parts, that's okay. But the basic principle that I recommend and I try to follow is to err on the side of caution. Don't take liberties with that. Wudu is ibadah, ghusl is ibadah. So if you make wudu 2 times, you are doing ibadah 2 times. So what's wrong with that? Don't treat it as a burden. This is Allah is giving you a reward for this. So instead of 1, you make it twice, you do it twice. So this is good, inshallah. So this is the whole issue of ghusl. I showed you the faraid and I also told you the sunnah of ghusl, inshallah. Is it clear to everybody? So please make sure that at least the fard of ghusl you will teach every Muslim that you know, no matter who they are. Especially a lot of us have Muslim servants in the house and so on and so forth. They don't know, they don't have a clue what is happening, and you don't teach them also. Believe me, you as the head of the household, you are responsible for the whole household. And the household in Islam means you, and whoever is your dependents who are living in your house, including any full-time servants and so on that you have, whether they live with you or not, they are part of your responsibility. And their religious welfare is also part of your responsibility. You don't have to beat them or something, or force them to do this or that, but inform them, give them time. One of the things, we are now coming into Ramadan in the next couple of months. We will also do a detailed session on Ramadan closer to the time, inshallah. But one of the problems in our homes is that we have Muslim servants who do not even get time to pray properly during Ramadan because we keep them so busy making food. So they are in the kitchen, they are cooking, and all kinds of things are happening and so on and so forth. And you are sitting there in Salah and Zikr and waiting for your samosas, and the poor woman is cooking those samosas, and she is also a Muslim. She also has to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you don't give her a chance because you want your samosas hot from the whatever, where are samosas come from? Now another we come to the wudu, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how did he do that? And this is Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, his freed slave Humran. He said that Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu called for water. He washed his hands 3 times, then he rinsed his mouth and nose, then he washed his face 3 times, then he washed his right arm up to the elbow 3 times, then his left arm up to the elbow 3 times, then he wiped his head, the masa, and then he washed his right foot up to and including the ankle 3 times, and then he washed his left foot up to and including the ankle 3 times. This, and then he said, I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam doing wudu as I have done it. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever does wudu as I have done it, then he prays 2 rakat in which he focuses completely on his salah, his previous sins will be forgiven. Yeah, this is it's a Sahih Hadith in Muslim. Now imagine, see the beauty and ease of this religion, alhamdulillah. You made wudu and you prayed 2 rakat of nafil after that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave all your previous sins and all my previous sins. Huh? Now what is the value of this? Tell me. Just 2 rakat of nafil. Made wudu and 2 rakat of nafil. There is a hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Bilal bin Rabah radiallahu anhu, he said that I heard your footsteps, I heard your footsteps in Jannah. When I went in Isra al-Mi'raj, he said, I heard your footsteps in Jannah. What is this amal? What is it that you do? because of which Allah gave you this honor. And Bilal bin Rabah radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, I do not know what is the amal, but what I do is after wudu, after I make wudu, I pray 2 rakat of nafil. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Wallahi, maybe this is the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you this honor. So Allah forgives all sins. Just 2 rakat of nafil after making wudu. Right? Karega bhai? Hamza bhai?